All right. So today we are going to study some TikTok growth hacks to use for your YouTube page. I have my book. I'm going to write some notes down. Yeah, let's get started. So I just seen this one. Let's just start with the first one.
If you've ever wondered how some TikTok creators seem to blow up overnight, this is it. But get ready to take some notes, because if you skip out on doing these things every day, you could be wasting a ton of time and missing out on some serious growth on TikTok. The first thing you need to do is study your For You feed. If you want to stay ahead of the game on TikTok, then you need to keep your finger on the pulse of what is working right now on the platform. The For You feed is like a cheat sheet that's showing you the exact types of videos that are currently going viral. But here's the thing, you can't just mindlessly scroll on TikTok. You have to be strategic about it. Spend 10 to 15 minutes a day studying the videos that show up in your feed, especially the ones that are getting a ton of views and engagement. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're writing down any ideas that stand out to you, and pay particular attention to the videos that really grab your attention and get you to stop scrolling. Creators are usually getting our attention visually, and headlines and text on screen are the most common way they do it. And the reason for that is because our brains can process words so quickly that we can make a decision about whether it's a video we're interested in like a second. Make sure you're studying these headlines and pay close attention to the word choice, the structure of the words, and the placement of the headlines on the screen, so you can understand how it is that these creators are writing these effective headlines that get people to stop scrolling. You also want to study what people are saying at the beginning of their videos. This is called a hook, and learning to craft a good hook is one of the most important skills that you can master on TikTok. We want to keep people from swiping off our videos in the first 5 seconds because it significantly increases our watch time, and higher watch time means bigger views. You also want to pay attention to see what sounds are being used over and over and over again inside of your For You feed, especially when all of the videos that are using a particular sound are getting massive views. Trending sounds are one of the most powerful tools that we have to create viral videos. When you find a trending sound and you use it in your own content, you're actually able to ride the wave of that trend and get boosted views on your video. Now, when you're doing all this content research, you need to make sure that you're filing those videos away. That way you can reference them and use them for ideas later. You'll want to watch this video next if you want to learn how my clients actually organize all of their content research and my step-by-step process for transforming your For You page into your most powerful content research tool. The second thing you should be doing every day is monitoring other successful accounts in your niche. And I'm not talking about just watching their videos. You need to go deeper than that. Look for what I call gateway videos. These are the ones that are outliers in terms of views and engagement compared to their usual content. These gateway videos can give you valuable information about what's resonating with audiences in your niche at this very moment. Maybe this creator has jumped on a new trend or topic or tried a different style that's really resonating, and you want to make note of that for your own content. The key is to look for recent gateway videos that are relevant to your audience. You don't want to be jumping on trends that have already passed their peak and aren't going to work anymore, so focus on the outlier videos that were posted in the last 5 days or so. By combining these first 2 habits of studying the For You feed and monitoring your competitors, you're essentially doing market research. You're staying on top of what's hot right now and using it to fuel your own content strategy. I know it seems like a lot of work right now, but trust me, it is worth it. Spending just a few minutes a day on this research can make a huge difference in your TikTok growth. Not only are you going to be able to jump on trends early, but you're going to be able to create content that you know is likely to perform well instead of wasting time on videos that may not resonate with your audience. So make these 2 habits a non-negotiable part of your daily TikTok routine. It's a small investment that can pay off in a big way when it comes to your views and followers. Now, I have a question for y'all. How do you feel about posting every day on TikTok? Does it overwhelm you? Because I feel like I get a lot of comments from people saying, well, I don't know that I can show up and post every single day. But this next habit that I'm about to teach you absolutely solves that problem. I teach my students to spend 10 minutes every day just brainstorming as many ideas as they can on a notepad. And we do this because coming up with better ideas has a bigger impact on your views than absolutely anything else that you can do. And the best way that I've found to come up with better ideas is to just grab a timer like this one and then just sit down and write as many ideas as you can. I usually find that it's actually like my 10th, 11th, or 12th video idea that ends up being the best one. Plus, the more ideas you have to choose from, the easier it is to just pick up your phone and record when the time comes. And the reality is that if you want to keep the TikTok algorithm on your side and you want your follower count to continue going up, then you need to show up and post a video every single day. And that's not me saying that, that's what TikTok recommends. But that doesn't mean that every single video needs to be a home run. In fact, trying to go viral on every single video is probably the easiest way to burn out. Instead, I want you to focus on creating a mix of different types of content and kind of detach yourself from the views, because not every single one of them is meant to go viral. The first type of video you're going to make is your evergreen content. This is the stuff that's always relevant to your audience and is incredibly valuable, helping them get whatever the result is, whatever the thing is that you help people with. Think how-to videos, tutorials, tips and tricks, that kind of stuff. These videos really help you get discovered in search, but more importantly, they're the ones that your viewers are just going to binge on when they discover your profile. Then there's your viral content. These are the trends. These are those gateway videos that have already been successful for other people, so you know that they'll probably be successful for you too. When you create these videos, you want them to appeal to as broad of an audience as possible. That way you can increase the view potential. Now, viral videos might not have the longest shelf life, but they are great for getting discovered by new people and growing your following. And you can already see with these two types of content, they have different purposes. The viral content is getting you discovered, bringing new people into your world, and that evergreen content is just giving value and getting people to stick around and want to come back for more. And then finally, we have our third type, which is the depth content. This is where you really let your personality shine. These are the behind the scenes glimpses, those story time videos, Q&As, anything that allows people to get to know you better. And these videos are key to building your personal brand and creating that loyal following that stick around for the long haul. The goal is to have a mix of all three of these type videos inside of your content strategy. And honestly, don't overthink it. Just make sure you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket. And when you're brainstorming these video ideas, make sure that you're keeping that ideal viewer and the audience that you want to attract front and center in your mind. What kind of content are they looking for? What kind of problems can you help them solve? The more value you can bring to these people, the more likely that they're going to keep coming back and watching more of your videos. But above all else, focus on being authentic. Don't try to be who you think the algorithm wants you to be. Trust me, your unique personality and perspective are actually the thing that are going to make you stand out. And the more you can lean into that, the more you're going to push away the people that you don't want in your audience and attract the people that you love and are going to love you. So take some time each day to brainstorm those video ideas, jot them down in a notebook, save them on your computer, whatever it is that you want to do. Just remember that the more ideas that you have, the easier it's going to be for you to show up consistently. And speaking of showing up, that brings us to our next habit, engaging with your audience. This is a habit that way too many TikTokers neglect, but it is absolutely crucial if you want to build a loyal following and see that growth happen faster. Here's the thing, TikTok is all about community. When you're regularly interacting with your audience, you're not just boosting your engagement metrics, you're actually building a bond with your followers. You're showing them that you value their input, and you're not just there to rack up views, you're there to connect. So let's talk about what audience engagement actually looks like. First and foremost, it means responding to comments. And I don't mean just like hitting the like button, I mean actually typing out a response to whatever it is that they said to you. When someone takes the time to leave a comment on your video, they're trying to start a conversation with you. And if you don't reply, it's just like leaving them unread, which nobody likes. And honestly, when you do respond, they're gonna have the opposite feeling. They're gonna love it. But make sure you're not just replying for the sake of replying. Use the comments as an opportunity to keep the conversation going. Ask them a question, ask them to share their experiences or crack a joke, like just whatever it is that feels natural to you. The more you can get your audience talking, the more invested they're gonna be in your content, and the more you're gonna learn about the type of content that they want you to create. Another great way to engage is by creating video replies. When you reply to a comment with a video, not only does it show that you're going the extra mile to connect with that person, but it also gives you a reason to create more content. And as you know, the more content you create, the more opportunities it gives the algorithm to push your stuff out into the world and have new people discover you. But engagement doesn't just happen in the comments section. You can actually use the videos themselves to encourage interaction from your viewers. Ask questions throughout your videos, ask for your viewers' opinions, anything you can do to get them to engage. The more you can make your content feel like a two-way street, the more your viewers are going to feel like they're part of this community. And like, here's a perfect example. I would love to know what it is that you guys do to create engagement on your accounts. Like, is there anything that I haven't mentioned that's working for you? Let me know in the comments. Now, another pro tip, when you are brainstorming all of those ideas, try to think about what topics would really spark engagement and conversation. Think controversial opinions, hot takes, relatable struggles. Like, those are the kinds of things that are going to get people engaging in the comments. And obviously that engagement is going to boost the performance of your videos in the short term, but it's not just about that. More importantly, when you're consistently interacting with your audience, you're building a community around your content. And that community is what keeps people coming back to your videos even when the algorithm isn't necessarily in your favor. Just think about this for a second. If you have a group of loyal followers that feel like they know you and feel like they're a part of something, they're not just going to forget about you if one of your videos doesn't pop off. They're going to keep showing up because they're invested in you and what you have to say. So make engagement a daily habit. Make sure that you're showing up and replying to comments so that way your audience feels seen and heard. It may seem like a lot of work at first, but trust me, it is going to pay off in the long run. And when you start to see your community grow, you're going to understand how powerful these connections are. One more quick note on this. I always encourage my clients to respond to comments because it's one of the easiest ways to stand out from their competitors who aren't doing this. But it's not the only thing that most creators creators fail to do. And if you can combine it with the next habit that I'm going to teach you, you're able to stack competitive advantages. And this is how you get ahead of 99% of other creators. And that habit is studying your analytics. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, like, analytics? That sounds boring. But trust me, if you want to see real growth on TikTok, you have to know your numbers. Your analytics are like a roadmap that's showing you exactly what's working and what's not working inside of your individual content strategy. So what should you be looking at? First and foremost, pay attention to the videos that are getting the most engagement. And I'm not just talking about views, I'm talking about likes, shares, comments, all of that. These are the videos that are really striking a chord with your audience, and you need to understand why. Is it the topic, the format, the hook, the length of the video? Really dig into these videos and try to identify patterns. Once you figure out what's working, you can use that to make better videos in the future, and that's how you really start to improve your views. Now, you might be thinking like, Mike, how do I know what's making some videos go viral when other ones are stuck at 200 views? Here's the thing, y'all. You just need to make an educated guess. Just look at all of your best videos, find something that they all have in common, and then experiment by applying that thing to all of your videos for the next week. Sometimes it's going to work and sometimes it isn't, but if you repeat this kind of experiment and you're intentional about it and you do it over and over and over again, you are going to figure out exactly what it is. You're going to be able to nail it down. And the great thing about TikTok is that you need to post another video tomorrow, and you could post more than one video today if you really felt like it, so you have plenty of opportunities to experiment. Next thing, don't just focus on your own analytics. You should also be paying attention to the videos that your viewers are also watching on the platform. TikTok actually shows you this data, and it can be an absolute gold mine for content ideas. And don't forget about your search analytics. TikTok is becoming more and more search driven, and so it pays to know the keywords and phrases that your viewers are looking for. If you see a lot of searches around a particular topic in your niche, then that's a good indicator that it's something you should be creating a video on. But engagement and search data is just the beginning. You also want to be tracking your average watch time, your retention rate, and your finish rate. These are the metrics that are going to give you a clear picture of how well your videos are actually holding the viewer's attention. Pay particular attention to how well you're retaining viewers in the first 5 seconds of your video. If you're losing a big chunk of viewers right out of the gate, that's a sign that you need to create better hooks. Remember, you've only got a few seconds to really grab people's attention and convince them to keep watching your video. Now, your average watch time and your finish rate, these are 2 metrics that actually work hand in hand, and they're the 2 main things that TikTok considers when determining how many views you're getting. Work hand in hand, and they're the 2 main things that TikTok considers when determining how many views you're going to get. The goal is to get the highest amount of watch time possible without having a drop in your finish rate. And so that means you can't game the system by just creating longer videos to rack up watch time. You're going to have to experiment with different video lengths to try and find what is that sweet spot where you get the most watch time possible while still getting a large percentage of people to actually finish your videos. And the key here is just to consistently look at those videos so you get a feel for those metrics and are able to improve them over time. But here's the thing, you can't just check your analytics once and then call it a day. This is something that should be at the very least a weekly habit. Just set aside a few minutes to really dive into the data and look for insights, because the more you can understand your numbers, the better you're going to be able to create content that's going to really maximize your growth in the future. And as you start to see those numbers go up, that's when you know you're on the right track. Analytics might not be the sexiest part of being a TikTok creator, but they're definitely one of the most important parts. So get comfortable with those charts and graphs, because they might just be the key to unlocking your full potential on TikTok. And finally, we get to the habit that is going to take your TikTok game to the next level. Constantly improving your videos. It is not enough to show up every day and post about whatever it is that you feel like posting about. If you really want to see growth happen, you have to be intentional about showing up and improving your skills. Each week, you should be choosing one specific aspect of your content and focus on improving it. Maybe it's your hooks and you need to study some copywriting or learn a little bit about using curiosity to grab people's attention right out of the gate. Or maybe it's storytelling and you're just spending the week trying to share more personal experiences in your content so people can connect with you at a deeper level. Remember all of those analytics that we just talked about? Those should be the things that are determining what it is that you focus on improving. If you're seeing a big drop off in the first few seconds, then focus on improving your intros. But if your average watch time is low, then focus on finding ways that you can make your content more engaging throughout. The key is to always be experimenting and learning and improving your skill set. So find a mentor or take a course on video editing, or find a community where you can get feedback and support from other people that are on the same journey as you. There are so many things that you can do, but the more time and money that you invest into improving your skills, the more it's going to show in your content, and your views and followers are going to increase because of it. Now, at this point, you know the 6 things that all of my clients are doing every single day to accelerate their growth on TikTok. But what I haven't shared yet are the common mistakes that they are intentionally avoiding. And unfortunately, if you make any of those mistakes, it can completely unravel all of your hard work. So I want you to watch this video next and learn why it is that most TikTok accounts fail. That way you can avoid these mistakes just like my clients do.
So basically, you create good content. No, there's way more to it. Creating good content is just the tip of the iceberg. Understanding how people function on these platforms is what's going to get you to the next level. Because it's not enough like just to make good content. You need to know how and why people interact on these platforms. Like TikTok, for example, I feel like it's a more homegrown video style. I see a lot of these like very selfie type videos, talking straight to the camera, doing a lot better on TikTok than on, like, let's just say Instagram or YouTube. And obviously YouTube is more of like a long form video content. Instagram is kind of like the highlight reel content. And yeah, you just got to study your, if you have a niche, then study that niche. If you don't, study just in general, because I don't even know what niche I'm in. I'm an artist, and trying to speak to artists is not really my niche. I like to speak to everybody. I want to give like life lessons through my art, or just insights about who I am. So kind of build that personal brand. So I don't even think I have a niche. I feel like everybody likes art to some extent. So if you vibe with my type of art and the way I do, then that you're my niche. So, yeah. All right.
Is there anything better than that sound? Probably not good for you. But I'm trying to get more done in 1 week than most do in 1 year. You have to watch this video at 0.75 speed because there's just so much coming at you at once. Why is it that despite having 24 hours in a day, every single one of us on this planet, we're all equal in the amount of time we have, we're definitely not equal in results? Why is it that some people can get more done in a day than most people can do in an entire month? And in this video, I want to teach you not how to get the most out of your time. Because you can go to videos on productivity advice and okay, organize your day in this minute. Like a lot of productivity advice, have you noticed this? It just teaches you how to be busy. Like how to be a better robot at executing these tasks. Do you ever zoom out and wonder, am I focusing on the right tasks? Because who cares if you're productive on the wrong things? Busy versus true productivity. This is what we're talking about in this video. And man, if you just focus on what these 4 questions I'll give you in this like higher level perspective, I mean, this is literally the difference between you having 5 years of busy work versus 5 years of going towards your purpose. So with that, let's get into it. Should we hit him with the chart? Let's hit him with the chart. Almost hit me with the chart. We're using the Sharpie Magnum, baby. It's the only time I've ever been able to use Magnums in my life. Here we have age. 0 to 80 years old. Now, if you take your life and divide it up into 3 major stages, you would have something like this. Phase 1, we could call young, 0 to 25 years old. You're in college, you're in school, you're learning, you're soaking in information, preparing to get into when you're in phase 2. Could call this your adulthood. This is you in a career. This is you working. This is you grinding it out. All while hoping for the last days, the last 20 years. Call this old. Seasoned. That's a better word for it. You got experience. This is the narrative that people pass down to you through school. They say, oh, you got to go to high school. You get out when you're 18 years old. Then if you go to college if you're smart, right? And you go to college so you can get a job that you can work for 40 years with the hopes of retiring the last 20 years of your life. That is the standard narrative that's been passed down for probably the last 100 years, that everybody subconsciously believes that's life. And without questioning it, most just accept that's how it is. In other words, most people are sleepwalking through life. This is the point I want to get through your head. That if you want to get more done in 1 week than most people do in a whole year, in fact, I would say an entire decade, maybe even a lifetime, you just wake up. Ben Franklin has one of the hardest hitting quotes. He said that most people die at the age of 25, but we just bury them at age 75. Oof. I heard that when I was in my 20s and it hit me. Now here's what's crazy, all right? Let's add a few more points here. The average life expectancy is right around here, 77 years in the USA, when I looked it up before this video. One other stat that just breaks my heart, when surveyed, up to 85% of Americans don't like their job. They literally say they're dissatisfied, like, I wouldn't choose this gig, but I'm doing what I gotta do. Now, most people are retiring around the age of 65. Life is expensive, inflation, cost of living goes up. So we have this fantasy in our head that, okay, once I'm done working, then I can start living. Like once I push through this career and my kids are out of the house, then I can finally start living for myself. Then I can finally follow my passion, or then I can travel the world or sit on the beach sipping pina coladas or whatever that like fantasy is in our head. But the sad reality is that if you don't love what's in here, you're missing out on a majority of your life. You're sleepwalking through it. Most people are dying at the age of 25 and we don't bury them till the age of 75. Man, is that the truth. And so what is my point here? Like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It is not over for you. In fact, it's far from over. And in fact, the sooner you saw this video and the sooner you're able to wake up to the illusion of what people have planned for you and the life that others are like subconsciously programming you to live, the sooner you can actually start living and waking up. Sleepwalking through life is the number one thing you have to avoid. I'm not even showing you this, like most people who show you this are like, and that's why you gotta start a business. If you're not drop shipping, you're wasting these years. Bit of a tangent, but that can be a fantasy in itself for a lot of people. Most people aren't cut out for that, to be totally honest. And that can cause them to sleepwalk through life, just chasing this one day, and it prevents them from actually living. You don't have to start a business to love your life. Remainder of this video, I know you're thinking, well, how? How do I actually apply this? I want to give you 4 questions. And I don't want this to be another video that you forget about and say, okay, that's on my to-do list for later. I really want you to write down these 4 questions and promise me that tomorrow morning, you're going to go to a coffee shop. You're going to order the biggest freaking coffee they. Question number 1. What would I do if I was fearless and could not?
I just want to say, man, some of these YouTubers, like this video, the how to achieve more in 1 week than most people do in 12 months. Bro, he's been babbling for fucking 8 minutes and he hasn't even started talking about it.
Not fail. What would you do if you were fearless and could not fail? You have to answer this question in that specific syntax. Fearless and could not fail. There's only 2 motivators for human beings, pain and pleasure. You're either working towards something you want or you're running away trying to avoid something that happened to you or that's painful. So what would you do if you were fearless and could not?
Like the information that he's giving is good. Like I people need to hear this information, but man, that's a clickbaity title. Like it seems like a productivity video. And when you get into it, it's like a life video. It's like, bro, I didn't click for this. That's why I got to click off.
If you've ever wondered how some TikTok creators seem to blow up
So I know what I'm supposed to do. I just have to create the content around it. Okay, so let's make this a brainstorming session then instead. Here, let's connect the tablet. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Let's drop this down. Open a Photoshop. Okay. Now let's move this over. All right. All right. So the main thing I want to do here, let me just fix this actually. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Yeah, and then okay, let's fucking take this. All right. All right. So this is for content creation. Creation ideas. There's obviously the filming. That's the basics. Okay, that's something that you need to have, but it's not gonna be the thing that's going to launch my shit out of the stratosphere. Let's think. Okay, so there's that. Hopping on trending type videos, and then obviously giving you my own twist. Um, this is like, you know, that those videos where like the bull rushes and hits that dude, and then people transitioned it to them getting hit or from something, and then using that to market their businesses. I think that's outplayed, but it's like that's the idea. Okay. Talking to the camera about the process and what the painting means. This is just like it pretty much is what it is. It's just maybe telling about some hurdle I had in the process, talking about um, what the painting means, the significance behind it, why I'm doing it. Yeah, kind of taking the behind the scenes and letting them kind of into the mind of the artist. Oh yeah, shit. Yo, the biggest cheat code is live streaming. Even if nobody's watching, it's the biggest cheat code for productivity. Because, like, ever since I put this camera on me and just decided that, you know, to do my work in front of the camera, I've stopped procrastinating. Like, my productivity's gone up like tenfold just because I'm like, oh, there's a camera on me. Somebody can watch me at any minute. So it's like I feel like I have to always be on my game, always be, you know, doing something and not being caught lacking. Man, I look dead. Is that just the color? Why am I so blue? I wonder if this is the camera settings. Do I need to change that? All right. Talking to the camera about the process and what the painting means. talking about life while painting. You know, just talking about life lessons I've learned, struggles I'm dealing with, whatever, while painting. I think that'll be a good one. And just cut between face and then cut. Narrative driven videos with a story. Like right now, I'm in the middle of creating this. Scarface painting. And I can create the process video. What Scarface meant to me. Story. Cool edit with scenes from holy shit, what the fuck's going on? The film